Namaste. A friend of mine wrote me a message on the Facebook asking me a question. Pawan, is there a difference between my Krishna and Allah? She writes, is there a difference between my Krishna and Allah? Even before I proceed to answer the question, I am conscious that these two words, Krishna and Allah, are extremely sensitive and loaded words. Therefore, folded hands, I beg apology from all those who might feel that my understanding has in any way reduced their understanding of these two words or altered their understanding of these two words. I'm not a scholar, not a linguist, not a theologian. I'm just a common person trying to understand commonalities where there are differences. We need common grounds to stand on. And one of the common grounds is to discover the confluence, the point of confluence of divergent streams of religious beliefs and thoughts. Is there a confluence? Is there a point of confluence where we can all arrive at a common shared understanding of what these beautiful words, Krishna and Allah, means? Please forgive me right in advance. I seek forgiveness right in the beginning from everybody to whom these two words mean a name of God. To me too, and to everybody, these two words, Krishna and Allah, mean a name of God. Is there a difference between Krishna and Allah? Here we need to pause and understand two things. Number one, there is a difference between fact and truth. In Hindi, fact is known as Tathya, truth is known as Satya. So there is a difference between fact and truth. Example. Suppose a man looks at his wife and says, "Darling, you are the most beautiful woman in the world." Is he lying? No. Is he saying the truth? Yes. This is the truth. This woman is the most beautiful woman in the world for this man. Is it a fact? Has this been verified through a beauty pageant or through a competition that this woman is the most beautiful woman in the world? Which beauty pageant has certified her so? None. So it's not a fact. So when this person is saying, "You are the most beautiful woman in this world," to his wife, he's saying the truth. It is not a fact. Many times, there could be differences in the truths. So when we say Krishna and Allah, they are truths for two different set of people speaking two different languages, coming from two different civilizations, two different cultures or religions. So Allah and Krishna are names of God. This is truth. This is truth. Is it a fact? We don't know. So people who think their truth is the fact are the ones who begin to then push it. We always want to push our truth as the fact and win an argument or win a conversation. So the first point to understand was that there is a difference between fact and the truth. The other point of understanding is given by Werner Heisenberg in the 1930s. He propounded, he was a physicist, a student of Albert Einstein, the celebrated great scientist who changed the way we look at the world today. So Heisenberg propounded the principle called the uncertainty principle, which is defined by an equation. PQ does not equal to QP. That means 2 multiplied by 3 is not equal to 3 multiplied by 2. I'm putting it very simplistically. It is not so simple, but something like that. It says 2 multiplied by 3 does not equal to 3 multiplied by 2. Simple mathematicians will say 2 multiplied by 3, 6. 3 multiplied by 2, 6. Sure, 2 multiplied by 3 equals to 3 multiplied by 2. But at a higher level of understanding, at the quantum level of understanding, 2 multiplied by 3 is not equal to 3 multiplied by 2. It's a principle. It's a mathematical principle. A principle of quantum physics. Now we come to the question. Is my Krishna, is there a difference between my Krishna and Allah? The obvious answer is no. There is no difference. Who is Krishna? Krishna is the name of God, one of the names of God in the Vedic Hindu tradition. Not only the one who incarnated on earth as a human being in the human form, about whom there are many stories written, who is also considered to be the teacher in the celebrated sacred text known as the Bhagavad Gita. Not only that Krishna, who is limited to the body. At higher levels, the same Krishna connotes Bhagavan Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, the sustainer of this whole world, the sustainer of this creation. He is one of the trinities: creator Brahma, sustainer Vishnu, destroyer Shiva, generator Brahma, God, generator, operator Vishnu, O, destroyer D, Shiva, God. So he is the O of the God, you can say that. But even deeper and higher, Krishna is the Paramatman, the Supreme Being. Not only the Supreme Being, the Supreme Existence itself, Satchitananda, the highest or the most primordial existence. Something exists, only then something else will come out of it. He is Paramatman, he is the Supreme Being, he is Satchitananda, he is the truth, he is the conscious truth, and he is the blissful conscious truth. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat, truth, Chit, conscious, Ananda, blissful. He is Satchitananda, the Supreme Being. When we look at the word Krishna, Krishna comes from the word Kri, also meaning the dark, the darkest one. Normally we jump to conclusions and think dark is something bad. But dark is not something bad. When you talk of light, all light has a source from which it emanates. For example, the sun. One day there will be no sun. 6 billion years from now, there will be no sun. There will be no light. in this part of the world, in this part of the universe. There will be light because there are other suns in the universe, but they are all finite sources of light. Darkness does not need a source. Darkness is the source. Darkness is the starting point. That is why not only Krishna, Kali, Shiva, Bhairava, they are all dark. They are all depicted as pitch dark. How dark? They are so dark that light does not emerge out of them, or when you see an object, a light goes and comes back to your eyes. When it is dark, the light goes, it doesn't come back, like a black hole, a pitch dark black hole. You'll be surprised. All of this universe is emerging out of dark matter. And almost 80% of the universe is still dark matter. Scientists make many guesses. This is one of their guesses. And what is dark matter? It is also known as black holes. It is so dense that light cannot come back, or nothing can come out of it on this side of the universe, you can say, if there is one side to them. How dense they are, that one spoon of dark matter is equal to 3 trillion tons of soil on earth. 3 trillion tons. One spoon of dark matter. That's the density. So that's their creative potential. That's how much stuff they have. So here, Krishna is known as dark. Black hole looks like a bad word for him, but here I'm using in a good sense, in a sense of the source, from that space from which all the universes emerge. In that sense, as Vishnu, it was from Krishna's navel, from Vishnu's navel, that the entire creative process was initiated and the creation was completed, or is continuing to happen, universes after universes. And into the same universe, all the universe dissolves, which Krishna talks about, shows to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, his Virat form, his universal form, in which all the universes are going into the dark matter, and then all the universes are being born from the other end. So Krishna is that supreme being, the supreme existence, the most attractive one. It attracts, it pulls towards himself, towards itself. The all-inclusive Brahman. Another word, a neutral word that we use for such an entity is Brahman. Brahma. If we shift towards the word Allah, then if you are moving from the perspective of Krishna towards Allah, that means we are moving, Krishna is a word in Sanskrit. Krishna belongs to the Vedic Hindu religious wisdom tradition. From that perspective, when we move forward and we come across the word Allah, and we open the English Sanskrit or Sanskrit English dictionary, we see Allah means mother. Allah means mother. Allah is a Sanskrit word which means mother. Mother in the sense of somebody, mother in the sense of the creative force, the creative potential, the creative force. To that extent, Krishna is the mother, because out of him all these universes are born. Krishna, there is a very famous stuti known as the Gajendra Moksha Stotram in Srimad Bhagavatam. And that is called the Mool Prakriti. Krishna himself is the feminine nature, the primordial nature. Moola Prakriti, the primordial nature. He is. So to that extent, he is Allah. In Sanskrit. In Sanskrit. So we say, when you say, is my Krishna different to Allah? No. Allah is included as one of his names. There is nothing exclusive about Brahman. Nothing at all is excluded in the Vedic, Advaita Vedic concept of existence. In this old, rich tradition of understanding human life, nothing is excluded. Everything is included. The all-inclusive superset you can call, that you can call as God. In this tradition, it is known as Brahman. Also, it has many names. It is called by many, many names, depending on the qualities. It's called Krishna. And we are so liberal that we allow anybody to keep their name as Krishna. I'm sure there's 100,000 million people whose name is Krishna or includes Krishna or has some form of the name of Krishna. My father's name is Govind. That's a name of Krishna. So we are very easy with this name. We are relaxed about it. So from Krishna to Allah, in this way, there is no difference. But I know that my friend knows this answer. From Krishna to Allah, he knows. How about looking at it from Allah to Krishna? Allah, SWT, Swatullah Ta'ala, is the name given to that most supreme being. In the Islamic tradition, it is a cognate of Eliza and other names. Some people even connected to some previous names of gods that were in that region, and it was picked up from there. But ultimately, Allah is a proper noun. It's the name of the most supreme being. This name is not used for anybody else on earth. No one else can be called by this name. That's a great difference. And it also shows the level of reverence in another way. There are two ways to revere a person. One way is everyone can embrace that person. Like we have Mata Amritanandamayi, the hugging mother. Everyone can go, everyone can hug her. And then another way to show respect is nobody goes near, nobody touches that person. Oh my God, she is the highest or he is the highest. No one can hug. So similarly, Krishna, everyone can hug. Allah, no one can go near. No comparison. One is not supposed to talk too much about him or compare him with anything. He is incomparable, unborn, etc. Which also Krishna is unborn. At the level of Brahman, it is unborn. It doesn't give birth. Allah doesn't give birth to anybody. Only things, creations happen by His will. Everything is created by His will. But He is not a mother or a father. Therefore, the words mother, father, brother, sister are not applicable to Allah. You can't address Him like that. But to Krishna, you can call Him your mother, your father, your friend, your everybody. But if you again go to the next notch level of Krishna, the Param Brahma, there you don't call Him mother, father at all. He's Brahman. He's pure existence. There are no relationships there. But there is a different way of understanding that relationship. So Allah is a proper noun. If we go a little deeper and we still break the noun etymologically, it becomes Al and La. Al means the. Burj al-Arab. Al-Arab. The Arab. Al means the. La means no. Lah means his or its. So if we say Allah, one can say it is such a name which is not comparable to anyone else. There is nothing like him. Or he is the great nothing out of which everything emerges. But forgive me for saying this. Maybe there is some other concept behind it. But Allah is a proper noun, and since there is no one to be compared to him, therefore, when we say, is there a difference between Allah and Krishna? Yes, there is a difference. However, if you wish to come together and find a common ground, Allah has said that all the beautiful names in the world belongs to me, out of which there are 99 names of Allah that He said, these are my names through which you may know me. Otherwise, it is impossible to know Allah. He is beyond our cognition, which is true. Something which is beyond speech, beyond cognition. How will you understand? So to understand, you understand through the qualities. So for example, one of the name of Allah is Nur, An-Nur. That means the light. Wherever there is light, there is a certain presence of His being. He is Rahman-e-Rahim, the most merciful, the most forgiving. Wherever there is mercy, wherever there is forgiving of another person's mistakes, and that forgiveness is the fragrance of Allah. He is Al-Alim, the most knowledgeable. That means wherever there is an act of knowing, wherever there is studies, an effort towards knowing or exchange of knowledge, He is there. Al-Halim, forbearance. Wherever there is forbearance, a certain staying in, a certain absorption of difficulties in certain situations of life. It's Al-Halim who will give the strength. It is His presence through which that is crossed over. In fact, I published a book last year, Living Hanuman. It's a commentary on Hanuman Chalisa. But this book explores the unifying streams of world religion, and it includes the unifying stream of Islam and Hinduism. How do we all converge at the same point? Other Abrahamic religions like Christianity, Judaism, etc., Buddhism and other religions, how we all converge at the same point? How do we unify as a single stream of human consciousness? Is explored in this book. So, from the pure religious point of view, there is a difference between Allah and Krishna. Purely religion point of view, as per the text, as per the Islamic text, these are two different entities. In sense of, from the perspective of Allah, Krishna does not even exist, or must be a very junior god of the pagans, of the kafirs who don't believe. So he is to be discarded, he has to be moved, you do not have to believe in him, etc. From the perspective of Krishna, everything is inclusive. Or in the Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned, by whichever name, by whichever means, in whichever manner, in whichever form, by whatever name you worship whoever, all that comes into me, all streams converge into me. So by that logic, all prayers are reaching to Him. The fundamental logic, God is one. If Allah and Krishna are names of God, they must be the names of the same God. There cannot be two gods. All the prayers, all the beautiful texts, all the sacred prayers, all must be reaching the same entity, the same existence, the same blissful truth. It must be reaching the same point. But as far as we children are concerned, we see a difference between daddy and papa, and pitaji and padre. So we see difference, that these are different people. It's a difference in language, and we take it too seriously. We take the differences in our language as differences of truths, and we take the differences of truths as differences of fact, not even knowing what the fact is possibly. So PQ does not equal to QP. So therefore, is there a difference between my Krishna and Allah? Yes, there is a difference from one perspective, from the religious perspective, from the limited perspective. Is there a difference between my Krishna and Allah? No, there is no difference. They are the same. At another layer of understanding, from another point of view, from another perspective, from an inclusive perspective. I hope this answers. Namaste.